Okay, let's dive into this. If you're a foreign resident here in Spain, or honestly just someone fascinated by how big government programs and international solidarity actually operate on paper, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're breaking down a very specific and highly anticipated piece of official Spanish government news. We're looking at the 2026 resolution for the Vacaciones en Paz, or Holidays in Peace program. Our goal with this explainer is to strip away all that dense legal jargon and show you exactly how this incredible humanitarian effort is structured administratively. So, let's get started. To really understand the rules, we first have to understand the mission. Based directly on the official text, Vacaciones en Paz is a program designed specifically for minors of Sahrawi origin who are living in refugee camps in Tindouf, Algeria. The core concept is wonderfully straightforward yet massively impactful. These children travel to Spain to spend the summer months living with a Spanish host family. It's a temporary relocation that provides a much-needed respite during the absolute harshest desert summer months. And as you might guess, it requires a massive, highly coordinated legal framework to make it all happen smoothly. Section 1, the 2026 SEM resolution, decoding the official state gazette, or the BOE as it's known here in Spain. Right, so here is the exact official reference number, BOE-A-2026-12169. This is the resolution of the 3rd of June 2026, issued by the Secretariat of State for Migration. Basically, this document formally publishes the Council of Ministers agreement from the day before. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, because the BOE is the official journal of the Spanish government. Literally nothing happens at a state level without being published there first. This document is the ultimate green light for the 2026 summer program. And what exactly does this green light authorize? Basically, three main things. First, it legally allows the temporary residence of these Sahrawi minors in Spain. Second, it authorizes the stay for the adult monitors who accompany them and oversee the program on the ground. And third, it lays out the strict procedural instructions for 2026. Think of it as the administrative how-to guide for getting the children from Algeria safely to their host families in Spain. Moving on to Section 2, Understanding the Program, BOE Rules versus Association Practices. Now, what's really interesting here is the gap between the official government phrasing and the on-the-ground reality. If you actually read the BOE, it's pretty vague. It just says the minors will spend the summer season in Spain, and it doesn't even specify an exact age limit. But if we look at how the organizing associations, like CEAS-Sáhara, actually run things in practice, it's much more specific. The children are typically between 8 and 12 years old, and the visits are strictly anchored to the months of July and August. So the BOE provides this broad legal container, and the associations step in to fill out the practical details. But there is one number the BOE is absolutely strict about: 91. The temporary residence granted to these children is for a maximum of 91 days, period. It is generally entirely non-extendable once the summer program concludes. The government makes it very clear that this is a temporary, seasonal stay, not a pathway to any sort of permanent relocation. So the crucial takeaway is that 91 days is the hard limit. However, there is exactly one exception written into the law. An extension of up to 1 additional year can be granted, but only to complete specialized medical care. This is a truly vital humanitarian clause. Because many of these children receive full medical checkups while they're in Spain, if a serious condition is discovered that requires ongoing treatment, the law actually has a built-in mechanism to prioritize the child's health over that strict 91-day deadline. Let's look at Section 3, the administrative procedure. Who handles the paperwork? If you are a prospective host family tuning in, you might be kind of worried about navigating Spanish immigration law all by yourself. Don't be. The application is actually filed collectively by the organizing associations using a specific form called the EX25. Host families do not file paperwork individually with the government. The association acts as an umbrella applicant, which makes the whole process infinitely smoother for the volunteers opening up their homes. Let's walk through those actual administrative steps. Step 1. The association submits Form EX25, specifically marking Section 5.6, Otros, with Programma Vacaciones en Paz. This goes to the competent subdelegación del gobierno. Step 2. The government then has a maximum of 10 days to issue a prior favorable report. Step 3. Once approved, the Consulate General of Spain in Algiers takes over to process the visas. They have a really strict timeline too. The visa must be applied for within 1 month of that approval, and the consulate has a maximum of 15 days to resolve it. It's a tight, highly regulated timeline just to ensure everything is ready for summer. Along with that application, there are some pretty strict safeguards required. The association has to provide a master list that matches every single minor to their specific host family. For the adults in that host family, a negative certificate of sexual offenses is completely mandatory. The family also has to sign a formal written declaration stating two things clearly. One, they have no intent to adopt the child, and two, they fully commit to facilitating the child's return. Interestingly, the minors can travel on a collective passport, which really streamlines the border crossing. And as a final safeguard, the association has exactly 15 days after the children go home to notify the Provincial Brigade of Aliens and Borders that the return was successful. Moving into Section 4, who pays for what? Following the money. So, how is this all funded? Well, the BOE mandates that the administrative procedure itself is entirely fee-exempt. It's completely free. Furthermore, the official text states this program cannot cost the public treasury a single euro. So how does it happen? Through private and association funding. Typically, the organizing associations cover the heavy logistical costs, things like the flights from Algeria and the domestic transfers. The host family acts as unpaid volunteers. They assume the daily cost of having a child in their home, like food, clothing, and outings. Finally, the management of the child's healthcare coverage falls back onto the organizing association. It's really a massive collaborative effort. Section 5. Getting involved. Where to go next? If seeing how this works on a structural level has inspired you to get involved, your action point is highly localized. You don't call the government, you need to contact your regional Sahrawi Friendship Association, or you can reach out directly to the overarching CEAS-Sáhara Federation. They are the folks who conduct the interviews, handle the local details, and ultimately guide you through the process of becoming a host family. And finally, Section 6. Important disclaimer. Know before you go. Please remember, this explainer is strictly an informational breakdown of the official government text BOEA 2026-12169. This is absolutely not legal advice. The exact dates, ages, and minor logistical details can vary slightly depending on your region and the specific practices of the organizing association you work with. Always verify your specific details directly with them. But stepping back for a second, what I find so fascinating about analyzing these resolutions is how they reveal the hidden architecture of compassion. It takes a rigorous 91-day multi-departmental administrative machine just to allow simple human solidarity to happen over a summer. It really makes you wonder what other acts of global goodwill are quietly sustained by a few dry pages in a government gazette. Thank you so much for joining me to demystify this today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.
That was a quick overview. On our website you'll find step-by-step guides to many procedures, the Padrone, the health card, the NIE, the TIE, legalization, and more. The link is in the description. And if you get stuck, message our Telegram bot. We'll walk you through for free, step by step.